It's it's interesting. Our original idea for ULedger mirrors the first presentation is having this blockchain platform where you can own your own data and monetize your own data. However, given my background, I saw a more business-friendly actual need for it. So I used to work for a firm called Deloitte. Does everybody in here know Deloitte? Very little of you, actually. Okay. Deloitte it's one of the big four firms, auditing, consulting, tax. And I was an auditor. And it was a horrible job. Basically what you do is you go to a company, usually a public company, and they stick 7 to 8 auditors in a conference room, and you just dig through their financials and write an opinion and attest that their data is what they say it is at a certain point in time. Okay? And they pay us hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. And we write an opinion on that, and the reason we write an opinion is because then investors can rely on that data, right? So fast forward a few years, I was working for a startup company as their director of strategy, and we were looking at blockchain for a very different use case. And I immediately kind of said, well, why can't companies use blockchain to assert and prove the integrity of their data at a certain point in time without needing to bring in a group of auditors that they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. And that's what ULedger does. And surprisingly, the auditors, the firms like Deloitte and KPMG and Pricewaterhouse and E&Y are looking at blockchain pretty heavily, and we've partnered with one of them, and hopefully we'll be able to announce that soon enough. Because what we do at ULedger is we go into a company, whether it's a government, a publicly traded company, whatever sized entity, and implement blockchain with their existing technology infrastructure. So it's a blockchain protocol that allows them to have this blockchain overlay for their current data. And what that means is they have this immutable trail, this immutable audit trail, so to speak, of their transactions. And we use the term transaction pretty loosely. It could be an accounting journal entry. It could be a payment transaction. It could be a contract signature. Whatever kind of transactions your company enters into on your underlying database infrastructure, you can have an immutable, non-forgeable record of that third parties can rely on, like the Deloittes of the world, like the regulators of the world, like, you name it. On top of that, there's security benefits that come along with using blockchain. So ULedger's blockchain is a protocol. It's blockchain agnostic, meaning we will work with any other blockchain that's out there. We're of the theory that there's never going to be one consensus on one blockchain, and so for a blockchain to work, it's got to be able to work and operate with other blockchain infrastructures, and that's what we do. So, as far as traction, we've got a partnership with a Big Four accounting firm, which has been enormous for us, as you can imagine. We're working with a couple large banks. We are working from companies from marijuana companies who are highly regulated, to banks, to companies who deal in asset securitization, to medical companies. And the use cases are pretty broad, as you can imagine, but what they all have in common is that they need data integrity. And that's what we call ourselves, a data integrity company. And there's one company out there using a similar technology, although we feel it's pretty archaic, using blockchain for data integrity, and they're not that old, and they're doing about $200 million in revenue. So there's a definite demand, both from the companies and the investor perspective, to assert and prove data integrity to third parties. We just finished a seed round of our token sale, 3.5 million. And we're doing a security token within the U.S. We operate in the U.S., and our thought is that a security token is the best way to protect both our company, ULedger, and our investors, which means there's quite a few regulatory hoops that we have to jump through, which is fine. Again, we feel it protects all stakeholders even more. One of those steps is an financial audit, which is a nightmare. Would not wish that on anybody. But that our crowd sale should come late March or early April. So I'm out of time. Thank you very much.